What's up, guys? It's Lionel the Builder back again with another video, and I'm excited about this one because it's called How to Stay Focused When Programming, which is something that I truly need at the moment. I was having such a hard time focusing on what I was doing. I have a huge task that I've been dodging for like a week that now it's time for me to do it, and I have everything that I need to do it. And I just been having a hard time staying focused on it, man. I went outside, I took a walk, played a video game, took a bath, came back, and still, I even tried making a video. I was like, maybe if I'd make it a code and chill, but nah, wasn't feeling that either. Luckily, I see this video, How to Stay Focused When Programming, by the one and only bigboxswe. Let's go.
Out your actions. That's it. You write out your actions. That's it. You can end the video right now. There were so many days. I had multiple hours, a plan, a system. I knew exactly what I wanted to code. I could have the most perfect sleep, the most optimized morning routine, but when I sat at my desk, I couldn't get myself to code. I would
Oh my gosh, I can relate.
think everything to the point where I just didn't know where to start. So I did what anyone else does. I took a break and got something to eat. And while looking at recipes online, I noticed something. Everything was broken down into small, actionable steps. So making a meal doesn't seem that hard. I mean, if you think about it, taking raw
Write everything down into actionable steps. True.
ingredients and turning it into something delicious is a pretty hard skill, but it's also very similar to programming. That's when I developed something I call the recipe method. Whenever I was overthinking programming, I would take a deep breath and write down each step I needed to do for the next 10 minutes. This could be on pen and paper or a markdown file, and it would be the simplest things like open VS Code, set up my files, start live server. Don't make the list super long. Just think of tangible actions you can do in 10 minutes and reset it. So when I'm done, I can console log hello world, Google how to link JS to HTML again, write a function body. This pre-planning makes the whole process a lot less daunting, and it's really nice to see how your mind is thinking about problems in real time. There's this
I love that idea because I think that the reason why this thing is so intimidating to me is because I know I'm thinking of it too broad. I'm thinking of the entire problem, plus I'm thinking about the error codes that I'm going to have to see as soon as I make one change to this thing. And I'm thinking about all of the other files that I'll have to go change as well. But if I break it up, then it will be a lot less daunting and I think a lot less intimidating to me. So that is great. I'm literally gonna start that after
pervasive idea of eating the frog, doing the hardest thing first thing in the morning. But that's never really worked for me. What I found more helpful is getting small wins, having small feedback loops to know I'm on the right track. And eventually, these small wins build momentum, and no matter how small the victory, you can always share them with me. Thank you for your time. I am Big Box.
Man, shout out to Big Box. What a dope video, man. Since we're recording and we're up and running, man, let me go ahead and start this reaction to my friend Tim the Architect's video as well. He just made a video on AI to watch and react to later. Shout out to the Discord. Link is in the description. I keep track of cool videos in here.
AI will take your job eventually, but there's still time, so let's explore. It's not going to replace your job entirely right away, so relax, we have some time, but it is going to start changing. We've hit this inflection point with this technology, and it is going to start changing things relatively rapidly to the point where I think 10 years from now is going to look way different, way more different than 10 years ago looks to us now. Let's take a look at some examples. 1985, this is what a video game looked like. Today, this is what a video game looks like. We are in the 1985 version of the AI, where video games kind of took off after Oregon Trail. People started buying computers so they could play video games on them, etc. Nintendo NES came out in 1986. This kind of thing is about to go off like this, just like video games did. And imagine 20 years from now, You know, if right now the tools you see like Chat uh, GPT were to be the Oregon Trail of the future, and we see like where things we could go, just imagine. So I think it's very naive that people are saying it's not going to take your job. It will take your job. Our jobs as we exist will be different,
Hmm.
but it's not too different. Like, think of the job you have now. Chances are it's not the same as it was 5 or 10 years ago anyway. It's just that the change and the kind of change we're going to see is maybe a little bit more. You're used to changing more than you think you are. And if your job hasn't changed, then you're probably at the highest risk of anybody, because those kinds of things are the simplest things for computers to take over. Anyway, here we go. So that we're seeing this inflection point. We can see that technology gets better and better with time. AI is an exponential technology, so it gets even better as time goes on, and the incremental leaps it makes from year to year are higher and higher. So it's not a big jump to say eventually the job you work today as you know it will not exist in 20 years.
Hmm.
Sorry, it probably won't exist in 10 years. My job probably won't exist in 10 years. I'm a software architect for software that you probably use, but it'll be different. There will still be things we make, uh, and there will still be problems to solve. It's just that things will get a lot cheaper, and the amount of things we can make will be much better, higher quality. So we're at this revolution, you know. I'm a Hamilton nerd. I love that musical. There's a couple themes in here. Revolution is happening. Um, History is happening. We're really privileged to be here at a time when history is going to change, and this is going to be an inflection point that I think 100 years from now people are going to be like, wow, 2024, 2023, 2024, 2025, that was a really exciting time to be
Hmm.
alive, and so much change. So if history is happening, what's the best way to make it to thrive? And I think that's to ride the wave, to get cutting edge, and to predict the future, invent it. So you are in a position, since you're watching this video, to get on this wave, learn with me, and let's start shaping this to make AI a more human endeavor, enhancing our life, bringing flourishing. Because if we leave it up to somebody else, we may not like the results. There's a great book that I'd recommend. It's called Range and Why Generalists Triumph in the Specialized World. And I think it's even more true, the themes of the book, than uh, than it was when it was written. Because AI right now is really good at specialized tasks, and we'll get into some later in the video. But this the theme here is that, or one of the stories and anecdotes in the story is that when AI started taking on chess masters, the chess masters got beat. But then the chess masters thought, this thing is really just really good at tactics, not strategy. What if you gave me an AI companion that did the tactics for me while I directed the strategy? I could beat the AI, and that is
Hmm.
true. For a while, the the team of the chess master and AI tactician could beat the straight up AI. That was called, they called them centaurs when they were doing these tournaments. Anyway, it goes into it in the book. It's worth reading,
Hmm.
and I think we're going to have that kind of.
I really like that idea because that's honestly how I look at myself as a developer. And I feel like I'm coming up in a new class of developer that writes code with AI and with ChatGPT. Not that I don't understand how to write a function or things like that, but it's like when you're so used to using GPT for help, it's hard to kind of break away from that and to write code on your own. Also, as far as like productivity and like speed goes, you know, you just feel so much stronger with the help of AI. Even if you're not using it for every single thing, we always have that tab open, right? Which then I guess makes us a centaur. And I like the idea of us being stronger together than, apart. But I also have said, like, is AI really going to take our jobs just because the of my experience with it, I can't imagine it working without me. But he does make good points about how the rate of advancement is so much faster than it was with even video games. So in like a year or two, like I haven't even tried out the Devon AI thing that a lot of people are talking about. I think there's even videos that I have in my pile to react to that are talking about Devon. I haven't tried it out myself, but it's got to be increasing, right? This thing that we're all low key afraid of with AI taking our jobs, and then but then what does that look like? What does the future look like? It's hard to tell, right? This is an unknown. We don't know how it's truly going to affect until it happens. But I like the perspective of us embracing it versus running away from it and being afraid of it, to be prepared. And also, wait, didn't he say, what does the future look like? Well, you create it. Let's continue.
Phase for the next 5 to 10 years while AGI is coming about. So we have this time where centaurs will be a very powerful pattern to use. So the idea that you can be the strategist, the generalist, and kind of direct your tacticians to help build the things that you want to build. And I think there's going to be a whole new science of AI organizational theory that we'll get into in future videos. But ultimately, this is not something to be afraid of. AI is giving you superpowers. Why would you be afraid of superpowers? Maybe because you're afraid everyone else is getting the superpowers. I'd say, well, use what you can have now. Study, learn, use those superpowers so that you can start affecting the change and influencing the world in the way you want it to be. I think we all need to work together. One of the reasons I'm starting this channel is so that you and I can start working together and bouncing off ideas to bring about human flourishing with this new technology. I do think there is a risk of of this going the wrong way, but sitting on the sideline does not limit that risk. The only way we limit that risk is working together as society to shape these technologies in a way that bring about human flourishing. And I think we
I'm going to say that when I post this. The only way that we can limit the risk is by working together to what?
is working together as society to shape these technologies in a way that bring about human flourishing. And I think we have some philosophy to do to figure out
Whoa.
what we mean by human flourishing. How do we, what do we want in our society when we have essentially limitless problem solving? Um, and I think that's a really exciting time to be in. We all get to
My
limit
bad.
that
My
risk.
bad.
The only way we limit that risk is working together as society to shape these technologies in a way that bring about human flourishing. And I think we have some philosophy to do to figure out what we mean by human flourishing. How do we, what do we want in our society when we have essentially limitless problem solving? Um, and I think that's a really exciting time to be in. We all get to shape that. And I'd love for you to shape that with me as we explore the ins and outs of what's changing in this revolution.
Oh my God.
All right, so here we are on Suno.
Yo, I
Check it out.
cannot.
It's got a home screen. You can see what everybody else is making. These are all songs that the AI created, and other people are creating through the AI. Let's make one real quick. All right, I'm gonna do a pop song about uh, going on a first date to an ice cream shop.
My bad. Why don't I do that on the
A little
other
fun
screen? My
thing
bad.
here. So let's have it
I'm about to
create.
post this everywhere.
And there's a free version. I pay for this, but there's a free version that you can make like 5 songs a day on. So try it out. I'll put the link in the notes for this video. But as it's creating, what's interesting is I think it's using a couple AIs in succession. You know, that centaur kind of mentality where it's got a specialist, probably a GTP or an LLM, making a GPT or an LLM making the words, and then it's got another model that's making the melodies, and probably another model that it feeds those outputs into to compose the song. I'd love to talk to the people who created this. If you're watching this and you want to share how you made this and how you used the different models and stitched them together, we'd all love to learn from you. Anyway, so it made the song. It's called Sweet Delights. Let's take a look at the words. Oh, so it made some verses and a chorus, and it also made the cover art. Let's listen to it. Sitting in the sun, feeling kind of shy. Got a little sparkle catching in my eye. Checking out the menu, all the flavors in a row. Smiling at your sweet delights. Taking bites on the first date night. Melting hearts, making art underneath all lights.
That's crazy. It made that song that quick. I'm gonna check this out.
And the flavors making memories. We're dancing in the sweetness. You and me. Now, it's no Taylor Swift or Hans Zimmer or Lin-Manuel Miranda yet, but it is pretty impressive. It's better than anything I can make and probably better than something 95% of the world can make. So it's really kind of an interesting thing. We all have the superpower to make songs now. What other superpowers are we going to have in the next year and a half, 2 years? What superpowers do you want to make? What kind of superpower do you want to give people? I think the mottos are in place where we need to start thinking about what superpowers we can build and how we build them and how that brings about human flourishing. What sort of thing? Because computing is at a whole new level of potency. So, yeah, let's just continue the conversation. You and I don't have to go through this revolution alone. Together, we can explore these new ideas and shape them and shape the future. And I think this is your call to action to start studying up, getting involved, and shaping that future with me. So like and subscribe. Let's explore these ideas together. You can find me as Tim Masterson on...
Whoa, my bad. Yo, shout out to Tim. I will link this video. It's his first video. I just subscribed, and I recommend you do the same. I can imagine he's going to be putting out a lot of awesome stuff here in the future. That's it. That's it for the video. Shout out to everybody for watching. Join the school. Join the Discord. I'm Lionel the Builder, and I'll see y'all next time. Oh, don't forget, write everything down. I'm about to do that. Break your stuff up. Write it down. Stay motivated. Let's get it done. Peace.